I picked up Warbreaker, which is one of the interconnected standalones in the Cosmere. And I struggled through this read so bad, to the point where I forced myself to get through this. And I was listening to this one on audio as my commute noise, and it was a lot of noise. This was Brandon Sanderson's attempt at a fantasy romance, and it was a flop, a complete flop. And it's interesting because Sanderson can write romance, and he does write romance rather well, I think, in Words of Radiance and Oathbringer. There are beautiful scenes of angst and connection that don't involve any kind of smut. Warbreaker, it missed out on so many points because I think Sanderson is really good at writing stories that have a lot of characters, right? But when you write a fantasy romance, you need to center your novel in the romance, at least for the first book. And this is a standalone. So the fact that I would say 70% of this book focused on stuff that wasn't the romance, even though the romance is the main plot point and it's obvious that that's the main plot point, it took away so much from the novel. And this could have been broken up into several novels because of, and maybe it would have been better that way. I struggled through the book until about 50%, and then I put it down to read other things, and I'll get to that in a second. And then I picked the book back up again, struggled through to another 70%, and I knew I should have DNF'd this book, but I was worried that I would be missing information for later books in the series, and it's obvious that I'm loving Brandon Sanderson's writing. I ended up finishing this book instead of DNFing this book, and it was a 1-star read for me, only because I could not give it no stars, but the book, I still thought this sucked. This was not good. If you like this, if this was your favorite novel, I'm so sorry. Maybe this is not the channel for you because that sucked.